The story I chose is about Uncle Robert's Paul life experiences and trauma that he endured at Kinchla Boys Home KBH. This helped me to align with certain approaches, for instance, Dadri and the 4 levels of listening, particularly empathetic listening. Dadri is an approach to deep listening, stillness, and a sense of full consciousness, as cited by Gordon and Ungunmer Bowman 2017. Dadri allowed me to stay in present, fully conscious, and listen deeply without interpreting or judging the story. Meanwhile, empathetic listening stimulated me to relate to and connect with Uncle Robert's emotions, feelings throughout the story. Active listening is a practice of providing someone with your full attention when they speak, listening honestly and openly, withholding judgment and opinion. Weddington, Azambia, 2020. One of the challenges that I encountered when learning to attune was that I initially focused on trying to find the solutions to his experiences. Instead of this, I should have listened to understand and acknowledge his story without interpreting or assuming of what could have gone right. Furthermore, the practice of story listening challenged my existing biases and assumptions in relation to the story that I listened. Earlier, my knowledge and understanding about stolen generations was quite limited, but now it has broadened. In addition, the trauma and experience were quite visible in Uncle Robert's eyes as he shared the story. The pain, the fear, and the emotional scars were all present in his speech and dialogues. The most impactful moment was when Uncle Robert Paul was separated from his parents and he was abused and tortured at Kinchla Boys Home. He was taken away from his identity and culture and was only referred by a number. And when he was lied to that his parents were dead and he was an orphan. This moment strongly influenced me as his experience reflected complete injustice, gave him a lifelong trauma, and involved the brutal harassment of his childhood. It made me feel that one should definitely listen to the diverse voices of First Nations people, which are often marginalized or either neglected. Understanding that I developed while listening to the story about inclusion is to listen more open-mindedly without judging. Further, my understanding of race was shaped when I learned about race and injustice, as Uncle Robert's Paul life was connected to history and its impacts are still ongoing, with all the emotions reflected in his eyes. In addition, my understanding about gender has also modified, as he was able to share his pain with strength, as men are usually not allowed to share their feelings. There are several ways in which different approaches such as Dadri and empathetic listening help in inclusive practice. For instance, active listening strengthens effective relationships between children and families, prevents misunderstandings, and assists them feel heard, valued, safe, and secure. Moreover, listening deeply and being present allows teachers to hear different perspectives, thereby promoting respect for diversity. Respecting diversity means within the curriculum, valuing and reflecting the practices and values and beliefs of families. Educators honor the histories, cultures, and languages, traditions, and lifestyle choices of families, as cited by ECE3004, 2024, page 14. My approach to story listening aligns with my understanding of inclusive practice. To illustrate, listening allows me to value and respect everyone's different voices without any inequality, give everyone a fair chance to explain their viewpoint, enables me to comprehend each child's background and their different learning styles. Additionally, listening to understand further promotes cultural safety, empathy, and reinforces positive and healthy partnerships through open communication, not only with children and families but also with colleagues. My way of listening to the story impacts my ability to form relationships, foster belonging, and advocate in such a way that attentive listening allows me to better understand and acknowledge families' different points of view. Further, it enables me to speak up against any discrimination based on gender, religion, or caste and speak up for the rights of the children. Moreover, deep listening will allow me to plan and create an inclusive and positive room environment that promotes respect for diverse cultural backgrounds. There are a variety of ways in which I can incorporate story listening into my teaching practice. One way is by incorporating Aboriginal people's voices, their stories, and books and reading them during the group time to enhance children's understanding of their culture. Secondly, practicing deep listening and stillness with children during quiet time or yarning circles. And thirdly, by demonstrating empathetic listening by acknowledging children's feelings and emotions, by asking open-ended questions, and by emphasizing the positive reinforcement and not interrupting when a child is expressing their viewpoint. This in turn enhances their confidence and self-esteem in a positive way.